What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Bianconero home for not really a news update because this is pre-recorded, so don't kill me if there's has been some breaking news coming out lately. I will discuss that. I'm out, but I will be live tonight, so check that out if there's any breaking news. So I'm gonna talk about in this video about the next gen because the next gen is. I remember when not when it was called the next gen, but when the project was kind of started, playing Series C football, and you look at that team, and everybody was like, "Man, yeah, whatever. I guess we will keep an eye on it. Probably will take ages before this actually turns out to be a very good investment." And well, couldn't we be more wrong? We were so wrong on that regard because this has been amazing for the club, in many aspects, which we're going to discuss, and probably nobody was expecting, me included. The project works, and it worked at the right time. I think that's very important, and also very important for what's coming next for the next gen, because at this moment in time, they are struggling because all the players that we are talking about now are gone, and you kind of need to restart that a little bit, bring in a few more players. The club is working on that. However, the next gen project started and is working at the right time for this club. You don't need to abandon it now because you kind of took all the players out of it. However, it's working. So that's what we're going to discuss in this video. Before we do that, let's set the goal likes for this one at 80. So hit that like button. 80 should be very easy for you guys. Appreciate it. And let's get straight into the video. Okay, so the next gen, like I said in my intro, in my very long intro, it's working at the right time. We do not have a lot of money to spend. Kicked out of Europe, basically, not winning for a couple of years. The squad was built so poorly, quality wise, financially wise, like it was a complete mess. And if you look at that 11 now already, I think a lot of you were like, yeah, if you want to be a top team, we're going to replace, or we could replace a lot of these players. So imagine if these players were not there at all. Imagine that as well. So why I said it's worked at the right time is for this reason. We couldn't sign players, injuries and whatever, and who was going to step in at that point? And we needed to shift a lot of players. We do still need to reduce wages. And how are you going to reduce wages when you have players on big time contracts? And even if they go, it's financially very bad for the club. Well, with these crop of players, and I'm not even talking about the players now. The work that the club has been doing is amazing. Sule, and when I'm talking about these players, keep in mind, I'm not saying all of them are going to be in the first team for the next couple of years, are going to play extremely well and going to be starters for, I don't know, whatever. Like, I'm not saying 6 starting players in the next 2 years are coming from the next gen. I'm not suggesting that. But keep in mind, financially as well, even if the player is deemed not good enough or good enough to start, not for you, and the player's like, I want to leave, you can still make money off them because you got them cheap. The wages are also cheap, for the players staying as of now. So you can shift players if you're deemed not good enough, and you can recoup a lot of money. So you also need to look at in that way. Sule, for example, had a very good start to the season. So let's see what happened in the second part of the season. I personally have a feeling the club will move him on. So that's one of those players where I'm like, you didn't pay much for him. You're going to recoup quite a lot for him as well. It's going to happen. The way he's playing now, you should be getting 25 to 30 million in this current environment, depending on the league, looking at the player, obviously. But that's a player I feel the club is looking to move on to gather some money. We can discuss in another video if that's right or wrong. But that's one of those things of the next gen. If the club is like, man, we don't think you're going to fit, well, at least we can flip you, we can sell you on, and we get a lot of money in return. When you buy players, Bernadeschi and whatever, you're losing money because they're not going anywhere. Lukaku potentially, like these are deals you shouldn't be doing. Not at this moment in time. If you were a well-oiled and well-run machine, like in the past, you can make a few decisions that maybe are not as smart, but you can take a gamble. Basically, we're not in that situation. Barnechea came in last season and replaced Paredes, who was Allegri's man, playing well at Frosinone. Maybe, like, I don't think he's good enough to start, but maybe he's like, I'm okay with being squad player, and the club could be looking at them and like, yeah, you're cheap. We've seen what you have done in Serie A. You can be a squad player next season. That way, we can spend money on different areas because we need to spend money, and we cannot spend money in every single area next season. That's not going to happen. Nicolucci, playing well, probably a player the club is looking at. Maybe if we can sell you on because you're not going to play unless you want to be a bench player on cheap, fine. Otherwise, we can flip you. Again, profit. That's what it is now. And then you go a step above that. You go a step further. And you go to obviously Yildiz, who, even if it doesn't work out now, and knock on wood, I'm not saying that the hype, everything, like, and what you paid for him, you made up for it. However, he is coming into the team and he is lighting it up, and I'm not even talking about goals, just the impact on the squad, the way he plays. Nobody was really expecting that. Nobody. I think a lot of people, me included, were like, you should be getting a shot now. He's not performing, injuries. I'm like, give him a shot. What could happen? Like, what could go wrong? As of now, nothing is going wrong, which is good, by the way. But that's something at the right time. Right time, financially, we don't have the money to buy high-level quality footballers. Chiesa injured a lot lately, and, well, here he is. Here is that guy. Here is that kid. If we didn't have him, what would be happening? We were playing Vlahovic and Milik up top, which is, well, only thinking about that already feels bad. It's at the right time. It's actually unbelievable, but it is the case, And even now, I think the club is looking at potentially Chiesa, his contract talks, and they're looking at it and they're like, we have something here. Like, even if you were not willing to sign, and I'm saying it because that's a scenario that's possibly out there. There's no talks about Chiesa's contract, and it's mid-January already. 1 year left on his deal with the Euros. It's kind of weird, but the club is like, potentially we have somebody here on a very cheap. If we can make money, like, these scenarios are all on the table in the summer. I'm convinced of that. Even if he signs a 1 year deal, Chiesa, but out of nowhere, Miretti, starting to get finally into the groove, getting acclimatized to a fixed position, I'm going to say, and it's working. Even if he doesn't make it, like, the quality is there. Miretti, Fagioli did something ridiculous, stupid on him, excuse me, but still at the club, long-term deal. Not sure how good he will come back, because not playing competitive football for a year is going to take some time to get really back into the groove, in my opinion. However, he's one of those players still at the club. Huijsen, on loan at Roma, highly regarded. Ealing Jr., highly regarded by some of us. Nico Shira saying, the club wants to sign Ealing Jr. to a new deal as well, long-term deal, which is also very good because if Kostic doesn't perform, he's pushing in age, his wages are high. You can try to move certain players on, get those wages off those books and reinvest. This is actually unbelievable because I think not even the club, when they started this up, were looking at it and were like, yeah, this is gonna bang in like 4 years. No chance at all. No chance at all. They were thinking that, and I think nobody was thinking obviously what the situation was gonna be, but nobody could, like, when the situation was unfolding, I think nobody was like, yeah, man, a good thing they have the next gen, because if they're not going to sign players, they're going to get players from the Serie C to come in and do a job. Like, we also need to keep that in mind. A lot of these players were playing third league division football. Yildiz, Miretti, Huijsen, Sule, Barnechea Jr., they were playing Serie C football on stadiums where parking lots around the pitches instead of fans. That was happening. And credit to Allegri as well, for getting them ready, because yes, they're talented, but still you need some sort of guidance because you're you're young. This is not Serie C football. So credit to him as well, but especially credit to these players because I don't think it's easy. I don't think it's easy. The pressure is on. Now the pressure is building even because we are potentially in the title race. So big time pressure now. You start to feel it a little bit, but you start to feel that these players are up for it. They're like, whatever. I came here. This was the plan. This was the trajectory we discussed when we signed that contract, and here I am. Nothing new for me. That's what we agreed on. I'm gonna deliver basically. So that's good, but it's actually unbelievable. It feels like Manu 90 was 99, the class of 99. When every player came through and they started dominating. Not saying it's gonna be to that extent, but like the amount coming through now is like, wow, that's actually insane. That's actually ridiculous and unheard of, especially at Juve, You know, um, but yeah, let's see how it will go. Like selling players, keeping players, I think it's just already a win, and especially in this situation. So yeah, let me know what you think of that. Did you expect that it would be exploding this quick and in the manner it has been? Because I wasn't, to be honest. Smash that like video as well. 85 likes is the goal for this one. So smash it, hit that like button, and I will see you guys tomorrow for a live preview. Ciao.